So good evening, guys. My name is Maurya Hanspal. So today we would be continuing our previous session on IPOs. That yesterday we started our initial discussion on the topic of IPOs. Then what exactly are the initial public offerings? We tried to talk about the NFOs, the new fund offers. We also tried to talk about the ICOs, the initial coin offer. So, to talk in very brief, or initial public offerings or the IPOs are basically for the companies or the shares of the companies to get listed in the market. Where NFOs or the new fund orders are the IPOs of a mutual fund. If an asset management company or an AMC wants to get registered or wants to get its fund listed in the market, it comes out with an NFO, the new fund order. That is, a new fund is entering into a market. In case of the cryptocurrencies, we have the ICOs, the initial coin offerings. So that we talked in detail in the previous session like yesterday. Then we also tried to talk about the prospectus, what exactly is a prospectus in IPOs, and different kinds of prospectus as well as the different features and the ingredients basically, like we talked about in those prospectus. Also, we talked about the gray market premium or the GMP in markets. We also tend to talk about the Coster rate and the subject to SODA, right? And also, we try to discuss in the last stages of the discussion that it has been quite difficult to value the new age startup companies that have been coming in the market. The traditional measures of valuation, as have been listed on this screen, be it your DCF or like relative valuation or the PE ratios or PB ratios, all these things have failed because these new companies or the startup companies are the loss making companies, right? So it is quite difficult to value these companies on the basis of these traditional methods. So today, in today's discussion, we'll try to analyze like some of the methods to value these new companies, and we'll also try to understand why the traditional measures of valuation have failed. You know, guys, even the top investment banking companies, the top investment banking companies managers have accepted this fact that they're still learning to value these new companies, these new startup tech companies, because these companies are ultimately the loss making companies, right? So before coming to these topics, let's try to understand one more, like one of the most important terms in IPOs. So that is the green shoe option. Example, if a market, or to make it very simple, I'll just present the screen. Yeah. If a company has decided that only 100 shares of its company would be floated in the market, बस 100 shares ही जाएंगे market में, but the IPO gets oversubscribed. बहुत ज़्यादा उन companies के shares को खरीदने की demand आ जाती है. The IPO is getting oversubscribed. तो 100 shares market में हैं, जो कंपनी ने आइडियली सोचा था that will be offloading or selling 100 shares of our company in the market. But the IPO got oversubscribed. बहुत डिमांड आ गई and excess डिमांड आ गई. यहाँ मैं लिख देता हूँ, excess डिमांड आ गई. So कंपनी क्या करेगी? कंपनी will tend to discuss this matter with the underwriters of the companies or the investment bankers of the company. And we try to understand the meaning of underwriters as well in the previous session. Okay. So वो क्या करेंगे? They'll be issuing extra shares to the extent of 15%. That is, 100 shares तो है कंपनी के जो मार्केट में जा रहे हैं, परसेंट is 15, मतलब टोटल मार्केट में शेयर 115 जाएंगे. So earlier, the company was floating just 100 shares in the market. The free floating shares in the market were just 100. But due to the over demand or the excess oversubscription in the market, the company, in consultation with its investment bankers or the underwriters, they came to a conclusion that excess 15% of the shares would be floated more in the market. And that is the green shoe option. And 15% or 15% is the maximum limit that can be floated in the market. Now instead of 100 shares, the total number of shares in the market is 115. That is 115 shares. Okay. The one rule of economics or finance. जब shares कम होंगे market में, when the liquidity of that company would be less, right? जब shares बहुत कम होंगे market में, the price would be high, right? जो चीज मार्केट में बहुत कम है, जिसकी सप्लाई मार्केट में बहुत कम है, उस चीज का प्राइस बहुत ज्यादा होता है. बट अब instead of 100 shares, 115 shares are there in the market. So obviously the price would also come down. I'm not saying with full confidence that the IPO or the shares would be issued at a discount. Discount पर issue नहीं होंगे. So there are other reasons for that. But अगर बहुत ज्यादा प्रीमियम से लिस्ट होने थे तो थोड़े कम प्रीमियम पे लिस्ट हो जाएंगे. मान लो अगर वो शेयर का प्राइस लाइक 1000 रुपीज था एंड अगर एग्जिस्ट 15 नहीं होता, एग्जिस्ट 15 हम इशू नहीं करते, तो प्रीमियम ऐड करके मे बी द शेयर हैड टू बी लिस्टेड एट 1500 रुपीज. बट अब एक्स्ट्रा शेयर्स आ गए मार्केट में, एंड जब लिक्विडिटी ज्यादा होती है, मार्केट में सप्लाई ज्यादा होती है, तो डिमांड कम होती जाती है, प्राइस स्टार्ट्स टू रिड्यूस. तो इंस्टेड ऑफ 1500 इट माइट गो टू लाइक 1400 or like 1450. Okay, so it is not always mandatory. If the extra shares have been issued in the market, then the listing would be at a discount always. Okay, so this process is called the green shoe option. But one thing that you need to know in the process of the green shoe option, in the green shoe option, price थोड़ा कम हुआ है market में because the supply has been more. At a later point of time, maybe after 3 months or 2 months, the company would make an offer to the people to buy back those shares. And that is a reverse green shoe option. पहले था कि एक्सिस 15 मार्केट में डाल दिए, that is a green shoe option. अब उन एक्सिस 15% के लिए बोला कि now we are giving you an offer to buy back the shares. मतलब कंपनी उन बायर से अपने शेयर्स वापस खरीद लेगी. क्यों? The one reason can be to increase the share price. अगर कंपनी को लगेगा कि a large number of shares are being floated in the market and that is affecting their share price. The share price is getting too low in the market. So at that time, the company can make a proposal to those extra 15% of buyers to buy back those shares. And it is just a proposal. It is not compulsory for those buyers to sell back the shares to the company. It is just a proposal. So this process, when the buyer sells back the shares back to the company, that is called reverse green shoe option. So that is one thing that you need to know. What is a green shoe option and a reverse green shares खरीदते हैं. Even those people also think that we are being given excess shares and liquidity बहुत है. But no one thinks of the future events. So this thing you need to know if you are a student of core finance. That the company also makes an offer to buy back those shares in order to increase the share price back to the original share price. ठीक है? Because जब बहुत shares market में आ गए तो price कम हो जाएगा. तो company will try to suck some liquidity from the market. and जब liquidity market में होगी नहीं, 115 की जगह वापस 100 के 100 shares market में आ जाएंगे, तो price obviously वो shares का बढ़ जाएगा. And company always wants to increase its market capitalization. And market capitalization is nothing but the number of shares outstanding, मतलब free float जो market में shares बिक रहे हैं into the price of the shares. And जितना ज़्यादा ये value high होगी, उतने ज़्यादा the market capitalization of the company would increase. And the company always wants to increase its market capitalization. So that was one thing about the green shoe option and the reverse green shoe option that we tried to understand. But major topic, like which is in discussion about the IPO frenzy, these new tech startups are getting listed. A large number of new companies which tend to label themselves as the name of digital startups. Like when we talk about Paytm, again, it's a digital company. Like when we talk about Zomato, people think it's a restaurant service provider company or a restaurant. But that company, it labels itself as a digital platform for ordering food. Because Zomato का अपना खुद का रेस्टोरेंट नहीं है. Zomato की खुद की ब्रांचेस नहीं है. Zomato provides services to all the restaurants all over India. कि आप हमारे ऐप पे आओ, जो Zomato का ऐप होता है, and there you have the list of large number of restaurants. So Zomato is providing an online tech or digital service to these platforms or restaurants. Zomato नाम का कोई मतलब like कोई restaurant नहीं है, right? Again, when we talk about the Policy Bazaar, again it's an online tech company like which is providing loans and insurance. Nykaa, though उसके offline stores भी हैं, but again it's an online tech company. Like when we talk about Oyo, Oyo लोगों को लगता है Oyo are the hotels, but Oyo is not a hotel. Oyo is providing their online services to these hotels. So when you go to the app of Oyo, you get a large number of list of hotels जो Oyo के नहीं है hotels. They're having a tie-up with hotels. A large number of local hotels from the 5-star hotels would be like available on Oyo. तो Oyo के नाम का कोई नहीं है hotel. These are providing their services. Be it your name of rate gain agencies. So these are providing services to the industry of hotels कि आप traveling book करा सकते हो. अगर आपने एक ऐप से मान लो आपने कोई फ्लाइट बुक करा ली है तो दूसरी ऐप पे वो सेम फ्लाइट अवेलेबल ना हो. So all these new companies which are coming in the market are the tech companies, and these are the loss-making companies. Nykaa agreed is a profitable company to some extent, but 99.9% of the cases में these companies are loss-making. So how to analyze these loss-making companies? See, when we talk about the traditional methods, जब हम traditional methods की बात करते हैं, we have the DCF method, the discounted cash flow method. For all of you who do not know these methods, go back and watch the YouTube videos by me only on the concept of valuation. So these are available on the YouTube live videos for College Deco as well. Okay. So when we talk about DCF, in order to have discounted cash flow method को अगर आप use करना चाहते हो, you need to have some positive cash flows. जब कंपनी के पास cash flows ही नहीं है, cash ही नहीं है, then how can you use this method of DCF? Discounted cash flow method cannot be used. These companies are loss making. कैश भी नहीं है उनके पास. फ्री कैश फ्लो एंड लॉस मेकिंग एंड प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी में देयर इज अ डिफरेंस. आई हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट दिस इन माय वीडियोस ऑन फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस. ओके, कैश फ्लो नहीं है तो तुम डीसीएफ मेथड कैसे यूज करोगे, राइट? जब कैश फ्लोज ही नेगेटिव हैं देन आगे तो बात बनती नहीं कुछ सोचने की. टॉकिंग अबाउट द मेथड ऑफ रिलेटिव वैल्यूएशन. So in the method of relative valuation, you are trying to compare your own company with a similar company within the same industry. अभी जो startup companies हैं and digital new age tech companies हैं, these are the new companies. They do not have a counterpart or a synonymous company in the market. Then how can you compare these companies with other companies in the market? जब company ही new है, company का business model ही new है, and there is no separate index for startup companies or tech companies. आगे जाके वो टेक इंडेक्स बन जाए, so that's a different thing. I'm not talking about the IT companies. I'm talking about the new age startups of digital technology. Okay. जब उनके कोई comparison में है ही नहीं, then how can you compare? You cannot compare Paytm with a bank. Banks are basically for the offline services mainly, right? Though a banking apps हैं and बहुत सारी चीजें happens through app, but all the paperwork and all like the major work is done in the offline mode only. ठीक है? So these Paytms or these Fino payment banks, this Google Pay, you have Phone Pay, all these are offering payments, all the things through online mode, all the services through online mode. कुछ भी लेना है, everything through online mode, and as we call them as fintech. Now these fintechs are the new ones. अब उनको तुम बैंक से कंपेयर कैसे करो? They can pose a threat for banks. बैंक्स के लिए दे कैन बी अ कॉम्पिटिशन, बट हाउ टू वैल्यू दीज कंपनीज जब पहले ऐसी कोई कंपनी थी ही नहीं, राइट? सो इट इज डिफिकल्ट टू वैल्यू देम ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ रिलेटिव वैल्यूएशन. देन इफ वी टॉक अबाउट द रेवेन्यू मल्टीपल्स, अब तुम रेवेन्यू मल्टीपल्स पे यू कैन एनालाइज द कंपनी कैसे. अभी जो स्टार्टअप कंपनीज होती हैं, ठीक है, फॉर्मूला तो सेम ही रहना है. यू हैव दीज रेवेन्यूज माइनस योर एक्सपेंसेस एंड यू हैव द प्रॉफिट, राइट? जब तुम रेवेन्यू में से एक्सपेंसेस को माइनस करते हो, यू हैव योर प्रॉफिट. सो व्हाई दीज कंपनीज आर नॉट एबल टू अर्न द प्रॉफिट? These startups, new age tech digital companies or startups are not able to earn profits because their expenses are more than the revenues. Because company नहीं है and company के बहुत खर्चे होंगे. Company has to spend more on investment opportunities, right? Because starting में investment बहुत लगती है. And the company has to wait for returns after 5 years from now or 10 years from now or 20 years from now. Companies को बहुत wait करना पड़ता है. तो इस चक्कर में their expenses can be more than the revenues. So in this case, the companies instead of earning a profit, they're incurring loss, right? So अगर हम ये profitability वाला factor हम छोड़ दें, because अगर तुम profitability की बात करोगे तो वहां पे we have this PE ratio. अब PE ratio में you have the formula the net income upon the outstanding shares. अब नेट इनकम तो है ही नहीं, तो हम इस फॉर्मूला को यूज ही नहीं कर सकते. The first ratio was for EPS. My mistake. Yeah, the first one was for EPS. So in EPS we have the net income by the outstanding shares. ठीक है, अब कंपनी के पास नेट इनकम ही नहीं है, तो तुम ये फॉर्मूला कैसे यूज करोगे? When we talk about the PE ratio, PE ratio में क्या होता है? You have the share price of the company by the EPS. जब EPS ही नहीं निकला, जब EPS ही नेगेटिव आ रहा है, which is not good, how can you calculate the PE ratio? Again, it's a problem. So instead of looking at these factors, let's focus only on the revenue. कि कंपनी की रेवेन्यू कितनी है, because revenue can't be negative. And revenue के बेसिस पे try to analyze the company. कि रेवेन्यू के बेसिस पे हम कंपनी की कितनी वैल्यू हो सकती है. So for that we use the price to sales ratio. We have the price to sales and that's a revenue multiple. Price to sales. इसका मतलब होता है कि कंपनी की सेल्स के बेसिस पे, बिकॉज सेल्स तो कंपनी की हो रही है, but the problem is expenses are higher than the sales or the revenue that the company is incurring. Okay, so in terms of sales के बेसिस पे हम कंपनी का शेयर प्राइस कर सकते हैं प्रेडिक्ट. So that is one method of valuation of the company. How to predict the value of the company or the share price of the company on the basis of sales. फिर एक और रेवेन्यू मल्टीपल आता है, दैट इज ईवी बाय सेल्स. ये है कि सेल्स के बेसिस पे ईवी कितना होना चाहिए या एंटरप्राइज वैल्यू कितनी होनी चाहिए. ईवी इज नथिंग बट द एंटरप्राइज वैल्यू. हाउ टू वैल्यू दैट कंपनी ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ सेल्स, बिकॉज सेल्स तो नेगेटिव होंगे नहीं. अब तुम प्रॉफिट ले लो यहाँ पे, ठीक है, अब प्रॉफिट तो कंपनी के पास है ही नहीं, तुम क्या करोगे, राइट? So use price to sales you can use and EV by sales you can use. So that one thing you can do. Second, अब PB ratio and return on equity तुम कैसे यूज करोगे? PB ratio I told in the session for the fundamental analysis and valuation. This ratio is used for the asset intensive industries, जहाँ पे कंपनी के पास assets हो या कुछ book value हो. अब these new startup companies have negligible book value as they work more or less through apps or softwares. तो अब assets ही नहीं है कंपनी के पास, तो price to book value तुम कैसे यूज करोगे? Then you have the ROE. अब कंपनी के पास प्रॉफिट ही नहीं है, तो तुम रिटर्न कैसे निकालोगे, राइट? एक्सपेक्टेड री इन्वेस्टमेंट तुम यूज कर सकते हो, दैट की कंपनी किन किन चीजों में द कंपनी इज इन्वेस्टिंग. इफ अ न्यू एज स्टार्टअप कंपनी इज कमिंग फॉर एन आईपीओ, देन यू शुड नो द अमाउंट दैट द कंपनी वुड रेज थ्रू आईपीओज, फॉर व्हाट पर्पसेस द कंपनी वुड यूज दैट. वो कहाँ कहाँ खर्च होगा, are the purposes the productive ones or not? So all these things you should know. That is the expected reinvestment कि productive activities में पैसा जाएगा या नहीं. Then you have the venture capital method. This method is purely for startups. Startups को in the initial stage, like when they need money, big firms, big private firms, they supply huge money and capital to these startups. And these companies are nothing but the venture capital. And these are firms taking higher risk and higher return exposure. हायर रिस्क हायर एक्सपेक्टेड रिटर्न एक्सपोजर, बिकॉज बहुत स्टार्टअप्स तो चलते ही नहीं है, राइट? तो अगर स्टार्टअप नहीं चले तो द वीसी फंड्स विल हैव अ लॉस, ठीक है, तो वेंचर कैपिटल को लॉस हो जाएगा, ठीक है. सो दे आर टेकिंग अ हायर रिस्क, दे आर सप्लाइंग देयर मनी. अब कितना मनी सप्लाई करना है, दैट इज अगेन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द प्रेजेंटेशन मेड बाय द फाउंडर्स ऑफ द स्टार्टअप और द प्रमोटर्स ऑफ द स्टार्टअप. अब वो लाइक वेंचर कैपिटल फर्म्स को बताएंगे ये हमारा स्टार्टअप है, हमारी आगे की ग्रोथ हम इतना सोच रहे हैं, अभी माना लाइक हमारा लॉस है, बट उस लॉस को टू कन्वर्ट इनटू प्रॉफिट्स और टू कैश फ्लोज हम क्या कर रहे हैं, हमारा प्रोडक्ट इनोवेटिव है या नहीं है, इज अ आइडिया क्वाइट डिफरेंट और नॉट. इफ द वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट इज सैटिस्फाइड बाय ऑल दीज अप्रोचेस, तो शायद वो कंपनी को पैसा दे दे. बट अगर वेंचर कैपिटल को लगे कि कंपनी के पास ऐसा कुछ है ही नहीं, कंपनी की प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी आगे भी नहीं होनी है and reinvestment भी कुछ खास नहीं है, then there is no point, right? Then we have the economic value added. So what do we do in economic value added? Again, this method you cannot use. Why? Because economic value added is basically telling you how much you are earning from your investment. And इसका formula होता है which is nothing but NOPAT, that is the net operating profit after tax minus जो भी invested capital, जो भी कंपनी में पैसा लगाया है, into the WACC, weighted average cost of capital. Those who are not from the field of finance, तो weighted average cost of capital को मान के चलो कि इस इन्वेस्टमेंट पर कितना रिटर्न आया, that's it, ठीक है. तो इस वाले फॉर्मूला को कि इन्वेस्टमेंट पर कितना रिटर्न आया, अगर 1 लाख की इन्वेस्टमेंट पर मुझे लाइक 10% का रिटर्न आया, 1 लाख की इन्वेस्टमेंट पर मुझे 10% का रिटर्न आया, तो आई हैव गॉट 10,000, राइट? बट ये अमाउंट आई हैव टू सब्ट्रैक्ट फ्रॉम माई नोपैड। बट कंपनीज का प्रॉफिट ही नेगेटिव है, प्रॉफिट ही नेगेटिव में है। अगर ये फिगर इज पॉजिटिव, इट इज 20,000, 50,000, इट इज फाइन। बट इफ दिस फिगर ओनली टर्न्स आउट टू बी लेस देन दिस इन्वेस्टेड कैपिटल, या फिर नेगेटिव ही हो जाती है कि -20,000 आ रहा है, -30,000 आ रहा है, their final EVA would come out to be negative. And economic value added is telling you how much you are earning from your investment. If that is only negative, then what's the use of this formula? जब कंपनी के पास लॉसेस हैं तो इस फॉर्मूला को यूज करने का कोई फायदा ही नहीं बनता, राइट? Again, these Berker's approach and Chicago approach, the exit valuation methods and scorecard methods, these are again complete topics of fundamental analysis and valuation, and these are particularly meant for startup companies only, and you can use these methods. अब इन मेथड्स में क्या होता है, इनके क्या ड्रॉबैक्स हैं, इनके क्या एडवांटेजेस हैं, so that all we have talked in the previous session on fundamental analysis and valuations. So you can go to the YouTube live series of College Dekho and you can watch these lectures upon. Okay, so these methods are something which are used for the startups. Okay, so through that videos, like these topics would be like fundamentally clear to you. अब कुछ ऐसे factors होते हैं, these are the new valuation metrics that you should know. If you are watching my YouTube live session, so make a note of these points because it is quite difficult for me to share these PPTs to you. Okay, so make note of these points. These are few of the new metrics which are used by these organizations. अब loss making है तो सारे formulas भी तुम use नहीं कर सकते, ठीक है, जो core finance है, ठीक है? So first we talk about the focusing on the right metric and technology. If a new startup has come into the startup space or getting listed through the method of IPOs, we have to know that whether the startup is focusing on the right metric. मतलब जो services the startup is providing, the product the startup is providing, is it different from those which are already available in the market? Is the startup focusing on innovation, कुछ नया market में आ रहा है जो पहले ना हो? Is the startup fulfilling the gap which all the people wanted in the market? Society में लोगों की demands कभी खत्म नहीं होती, but कोई ऐसी चीज है which people are hoping कि market में आए. Is my startup providing a solution to the people? कुछ नया है मेरे पास. Am I focusing on the right metric? ऐसा ना हो कि my product is for the elderly people, but I'm like marketing that product in the form or through the the smaller people, maybe from the age group of 18 to 30, but that product is meant for 60 plus. And the same thing can happen for the vice versa. I am targeting the new generation, but the product is meant for the 60 plus people, right? So all this I should know. I should have the right product and a kind of product which is different from the existing products in the market, and my target audience should be right. And technology कैसी है? Am I using the right technology? Because the future is only about ITs and all. If I'm not using good appropriate IT or the new innovative ITs in my startup, then it's just a waste. Okay, so all these things I need to focus upon. Second, the user acquisition and replacement cost. User acquisition. Am I able to acquire users? Are people subscribing to my services? लोग अगर कोई स्टार्टअप है तो उसकी सर्विसेज को सब्सक्राइब कर रहे हैं या नहीं कर रहे हैं? Are people having faith in those startup? Are people buying the products of those startup? A classic example we can take of Paytm. So what has Paytm done? Paytm offered very low amount of service charges or huge discounts in the starting. ठीक है, बहुत कम प्राइस पे, मतलब like Paytm ने अपने like services provide करी so that a large number of people can come on that platform. बहुत services provide करी. And then it started to face the competition from Google Pay and Phone Pay. तो Paytm ने क्या करा? Paytm started to provide the service of cloud services. Paytm ने बोला कि अगर बाकी चीजें और भी कम प्राइस पे, अगर Google Pay और Phone Pay is more convenient than using Paytm, then what did Paytm do? Paytm increased the cloud services. Paytm ने बोला आप मूवी टिकट बुक करा सकते हो Paytm से, आप बस टिकट, आप फ्लाइट टिकट्स, आप ग्रोसरी ले सकते हो लाइक थ्रू Paytm, आप Paytm मॉल से शॉपिंग कर सकते हो. These extra services Paytm started to provide. तो कस्टमर्स को लगा कि अगर Paytm ज्यादा कन्वीनियंट नहीं है एज कंपेयर टू फोन पे, जी पे, बट दिस प्लेटफॉर्म इज प्रोवाइडिंग अस ह्यूज सर्विसेज, देन हम क्यों जाएं? यूजर एक्विजिशन वाज हाई एंड द रिप्लेसमेंट कॉस्ट वाज आल्सो हाई, कि अगर हम पेटीएम को छोड़ के किसी और प्लेटफॉर्म पे चले जाएंगे तो क्या पता हमें ऐसी सर्विसेज ना मिले। देन पीपल स्टार्टेड टू यूज दिस पेटीएम, बहुत यूज करने लगे, ठीक है। व्हेन द पीपल गॉट accustomed टू दिस पेटीएम, देन दे आल्सो स्टार्टेड टू स्पेंड मोर, कि पैसे कम होते थे उनके पास बट स्पेंड ज्यादा करते थे। व्हेन दे स्टार्टेड टू स्पेंड मोर, दे थॉट अब पेटीएम हमको मतलब कि बहुत पैसे खर्च करवा रहा है, तो हम फिर दूसरे प्लेटफॉर्म पे चले जाते हैं। When they started to think to go on the other platform, Paytm came up with providing the lending services. ठीक है, इट्स सेइंग कि buy now and pay later. अगर आज आपके पास पैसा नहीं है तो you can take the services on credit and take a loan. So as the demands of people were changing and people were thinking to shift from the Paytm to other apps, Paytm was coming up with new services so as to fulfill the demands of people. So that is how a startup needs to be. कि जो भी मार्केट में चेंजेस आ रहे हैं, अगर कस्टमर्स आपका प्रोडक्ट छोड़ भी रहे हैं तो यू शुड नो क्यों छोड़ रहे हैं, एंड यू शुड इंक्लूड दैट रीजन इन योर कंपनी। द थर्ड कम्स द ग्रॉस मर्चेंडाइज वैल्यू एंड द कस्टमर लाइफ टाइम वैल्यू। So what happens in gross merchandise value or the GMV is nothing but how much sales are being made by that company. Sales into the price per product. As I talked about in the concept of revenue. Higher the GMV, it means higher number of products are being sold. Sales ज़्यादा हो रही है. एंड कस्टमर लाइफ टाइम वैल्यू में तुम्हारा सेल्स इनटू प्राइस तो आता ही है, पर कस्टमर लाइफ टाइम वैल्यू इंक्लूड्स योर जीएमवी, सेल्स आता ही है, बट वन मोर इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट आल्सो कम्स, दैट इज द रिटेंशन रेशियो ऑफ द कस्टमर्स। अगर कस्टमर्स तुम्हारी कंपनी का देर बाइंग सम प्रोडक्ट, आर दे स्टेइंग विद दैट प्रोडक्ट, दे शुड नॉट बी शिफ्टिंग फ्रॉम योर कंपनी टू अदर कंपनी, they should be hardcore loyals to your company and not split loyals. These are the marketing terms. Hardcore loyals are someone who are just loyal to your company and किसी और brand से वो नहीं लेंगे. But split loyals are those people who can shift from like one brand to another. Okay. So customer की lifetime value like ज़्यादा होनी चाहिए, sales ज़्यादा होनी चाहिए and retention value भी ज़्यादा होनी चाहिए. Then operating financial synergies. Operating synergies, financial synergies, so these are something when you are like providing your services, तो ऐसा ना हो कि सर्विस प्रोवाइड करने में तुम्हारे खर्चे भी बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, right? As you're providing more and more products and more services, your per unit cost should also reduce. That is the concept of economies of scale in the field of economics. Brand value होनी चाहिए, should have a brand value because Paytm is a brand value now. Okay, Paytm is now a verb now. हम English में like when we talk about grammar, we talk about verbs. And there is a line, Paytm करो. So Paytm has become a verb now, right? So brand value should be so strong as Paytm. Then monopolies. The company should not have a lot of competition in the market. One competitor, two competitor, ठीक है. But it should not be homogeneous competition कि same product बाकी companies भी दे रहे हैं. Be in case of toothpaste, we have the Colgate versus the Pepsodent. In case of Coca-Cola, we have the Coca-Cola versus Pepsi, right? So up to like two competitors, it is fine. But अगर single चीज है, अगर single है, तो it is best for your company. As we have like in case of EVs, EV में Tata Motors is taking a lead, and that is about to attain a monopoly as well. अगर Tata Motors same ही pace पे चलती रहे, because Tata Motors has come up with the EV cars. You have Tata Elxsi, that is for the IT technologies of EVs. Then you have Tata Green, and that is going for the batteries and all of EVs. So all the various things of Tata group are working on these things for EVs. You have a few companies in India, like for example, you have the Neogen. Like the Neogen is there. So Neogen is for the lithium batteries. The only producer of lithium batteries in India. You have the Neogen company. That's a monopoly, right? Then you have like the Borosil Renewables. So that's again a company. ये थोड़ी छोटी companies हैं, like इनके नाम आपको नहीं पता होंगे शायद सबको. But these are for the solar panels. The only company in India which provides solar glass panels, right? Then the next you have the economies of scale की हमने बात करी, future investment की हमने बात करी कि the future investments of the company should be for the productive purposes. Then you have the cash burn and management ego. सी कैश बर्न हमको पता होना चाहिए कि कंपनी का कैश बर्न कितना है. कंपनी इज अ कैश बर्नर और अ कैश क्रिएटर. ऐसी बहुत कंपनीज होती हैं who burn their cash, who waste their cash for their non profitable products or projects. घटिया प्रोजेक्ट्स में करते हैं इन्वेस्ट, ठीक है, जहाँ पे कुछ पैसा मिलना ही नहीं है. And one thing which was in the report of the analyst as well, पेटीएम को लोग बोल रहे हैं इट कैन बी अ कैश बर्नर कंपनी एज वेल, कैश बर्न कर सकती है आपका, because until 2026 also there is no hope for the company to be like more profitable. People say that the company would still be in losses, ठीक है, but Zomato के लिए लोग बोल रहे हैं कि 2 या 3 साल में that Zomato can earn well. Okay, so that is one thing you need to analyze for different companies. Cash burn company तो नहीं है. Then and management ego. So management ego is some, see, all these points from 1 to 6 and various other points are included to get the price of that IPO. सिर्फ quantitative measures price नहीं करते decide. These qualitative measures also decide कि price कितना होगा. ठीक है. तो management ego क्या होती है? Management ego can be something if the management is so proud for their company कि हमारी कंपनी इज द मोनोपोली, हमारी कंपनी इज द बेस्ट, सो दैट कैन अकाउंट इन द शेयर प्राइस ऑफ द कंपनी. सेकेंड थिंग, हो सकता है पहले कंपनी हैज मेड अ प्रपोजल टू सेबी टू गेट लिस्टेड एंड सेबी ने बोल दिया कि आपकी कंपनी में कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हैं एंड कंपनी वो लिस्ट नहीं होगी. बट अब उस कंपनी के टॉप मैनेजमेंट को कंपनी को लिस्ट करना ही करना है, सो दैट इज अ काइंड ऑफ ईगो. थर्ड, द कंपनी हैज ट्राइड टू एक्वायर अदर कंपनीज इन द पास्ट. ठीक है, अदर कंपनीज को एक्वायर करने का ट्राई कर रहा है, बट द कंपनी फेल टू डू सो. बट नाउ आफ्टर द लिस्टिंग द कंपनी विल एक्वायर दोज कंपनीज बिकॉज द कंपनी वुड हैव फंड, सो दैट इज द मैनेजमेंट ईगो. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर टेकन इनटू कंसिडरेशन टू अकाउंट फॉर द प्राइसिंग ऑफ द आईपीओस. अब क्वेश्चन आता है कि लॉस मेकिंग आईपीओस तो लिस्ट होने ही नहीं चाहिए. सेबी की भी गाइडलाइन है. Ideally, like what happens when the company is a profit making company, 50% of the shares of the company, they go to the like the QIBs, who are the qualified institutional buyers. The 35% go to the retail individual investors, the RIIs, that is मतलब हम और आप. Then the last 15% or 15% it goes to the high net worth individuals who invest in the market of the value of more than 2 lakh. And RIIs or retail individual investors are those people who invest in the market for less than 2 lakh or up to 2 lakh. Okay. So this kind of ratio has been made that 50% for QIBs, 30% we are getting, and the rest 15% is going for the high net worth individuals. But what happens in case of loss making companies? 75% goes to QIBs and remaining 15% that basically goes the rest 15% is it is basically like divided into the RIIs and the high net worth individuals. So exactly it's not 75, it's 70%. It's exact 70% for the qualified institutional buyers, and the remaining 15% each it goes to high net worth individuals and to RIIs. Okay. अब 70% उनको ज्यादा दे दिया जाता है बिकॉज दे हैव मोर कैपिटल एंड दे कैन टेक मोर रिस्क इन केस ऑफ लॉस मेकिंग कंपनीज. अगर कोई इन्वेस्टर जिसके पास पैसा कम होगा और इन लॉस मेकिंग कंपनीज में पैसा लगा के ही इनकर्स अ लॉस, so that can be a blunder for him. But these high net worth people or qualified institutional buyers, which are nothing but like big companies or mutual fund agencies, they can bear the loss. तो हम लोगों को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए like this guideline has been come up. Again, my last thing I would like to talk about, these IPOs are also valued in terms of the market conditions. अगर market बहुत high जा रही है, okay, the market is on an uptrend, then the price of the company or the price of the IPO might also be at a higher value. But if the market is in a downtrend, तो IPO तो कंपनी का शेयर प्राइस होगा, मे बी उस शेयर प्राइस की वैल्यू उतनी ज्यादा ना हो. That is why the company also prefer to list themselves in a gaining market or a rising market because they can earn a premium for that. They can be overvalued. But जब market ही नीचे गिर रही होगी, premium company को इतना नहीं मिलेगा because there would be like pessimism in the market, right? And same happened with Paytm. Paytm got listed when the market was coming down. That is why Paytm, like it was one of the reasons why Paytm got issued at a discount. The second reason we can say it was demanding higher valuations. That is 26 times or 30 times. जब यूएस की कंपनीज ही 0.5 वैल्यूएशंस या 0.6 मल्टीपल्स पे होती हैं, these companies were demanding like 26 times or 30 times. Okay, So all these new companies, that Bharat Pay or the new companies which want to get list, like for example, you have the MobiKwik for payment. So like one common term like which was being used was like these companies would also be applying a Paytm discount. मतलब कि डिस्काउंटिंग जो हमारा जो TCF एनालिसिस तो होता है, बट एक पेटीएम डिस्काउंट भी अलग से होगा कि जो जिस कंपनी ने अपने आपको लिस्ट, इट ट्राई टू लिस्ट इट सेल्फ इन एन ओवर वैल्यूड मैनर. And also when the market was coming down, because Paytm was like one of the largest IPOs of like 18,500 crores, and market को उससे बहुत होप थी. जब वही IPO नीचे गिर गया and it started to issue at a discount, the other companies are also applying a Paytm discount like for their listing. राइट, अगर 200 पे लिस्ट करना है तो 15% पेटीएम डिस्काउंट लगा देंगे, ठीक है, कि 185 पे ही लिस्ट हो, ताकि मार्केट को भी लगे कि हम लिस्ट कम पे हो रहे हैं एंड वी आर नॉट ओवर वैल्यूड. ओके, सो दैट इज वन थिंग यू नीड टू एनालाइज. So this was all about the IPOs today. Okay, so in my next session, which starts from 8:15 today, so I'll be talking about advanced fundamental analysis, part 2. Okay, so see you today in the next session. Thank you so much.